Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and this is slightly loud, I'm just going to turn it down a little bit. And I'm here checking out Poltergeist, a pixelated horror by Glitchy Pixel. I've played about an hour of this so far. Thankfully I didn't even need to use the tutorial, I'm actually getting better at games, who would have thought. So, just so you know, the extras lists all the trophies, and you can also check out the cutscenes. I will play the classic era intro, just so you can get a rough idea about the way the story's presented, but there's no real story to this. It's just old guy dies after he builds mansion and loses wife, decides to get really pissed off at the wrong people for some reason. Yeah, I have no idea to tell you the truth. It's just, yeah, it's a bit odd. Well, the game says he built this mansion with his bare hands and his wife died a few weeks after they moved into it, and he kind of got obsessed over the idea of keeping the house much like he wanted to keep his wife. And, well, still, he's taking it out on the wrong people. Some very nicely drawn art here. I like the little poodle on the left. Poor little thing. Wow. Something's really thrown off the waveform on the Audacity recorder, but never mind. Hopefully they'll just go away eventually. For now, we're just going to hop into a level. So, Poltergeist, a pixelated horror. There are 60 levels in total. And you need to complete X amount of levels to get to each of these levels. Unfortunately, you need to actually complete all 45 levels beforehand in order to get to the final set, and I'm not going that far. I've finished about 15 levels so far. I've seen most of the major powers in action, so I'm just going to hop into a random one and hope it's good enough to demonstrate what the game's about. And if not, I'll just jump back to an earlier level that I know I can solve. So, if you've played the game Haunt the House Terror Town, you have a rough idea of what to expect here. The idea is that you are a, what's the word I'm looking for? You're the ghost, obviously. You're the big, mean, scary guy. And Mr. Big, Mean, Scary Guy has a series of powers, and he needs to use these series of powers in order to scare the living bejesus out of absolutely everyone here. Now, the special guys all have their own... There's a bunch of different people and special people. Special people have the ability to block certain powers, so these black-hatted gentlemen down here all have the ability to block object possession. Meanwhile, Mr. Ghostbuster up here has the ability to block Spectrism, or whatever it's called. So, Spectrism, we'll just display Spectrism right now. It locks everybody in the room and takes off two... I'm going to call them sanity points. I don't remember what the game calls them, but there's basically sanity points. If you lose enough of your sanity points, well... If a person loses all their sanity points, they get driven out of the house. Same goes with dogs. Dogs can't be fooled by people that have been possessed, but that's like the only special ability that they have. And then there's a bunch of other people with other special abilities. And so you exploit these special abilities in a form of puzzle to drive everyone out of the house. That is basically the gist of it. That's why I said if you're familiar with Poltergeist, a pixelated horror, you'd quickly get the idea of this. So we've got a bunch of different people here. I'm using the L and R buttons to circle through all these people, by the way, but the majority of the game can be played with the touchscreen if you know what you're doing. The majority of the game's, I don't want to call it strategy, is along the lines of getting everybody into close enough rooms to each other so that it's easier to scare the living bejesus out of them. Question is, how do you do that? If you use a sound, it often draws in the nearest special person, which is a bit of an oddity, but, you know, it actually kind of works in the context of the puzzle. So, let's just... Oh. Okay, so I was drawing that guy in. So he blocks object possession and roof tiles, and these guys block basically everything else. So I'm going to have to reset this puzzle because I've gone and fucked it up. Ah, fantastic. Okay, so... Make a sound there, draw in the Ghostbuster. Yes, that is indeed a Ghostbuster. Although, I think they call them ghost hunters or something like that in this game. For obvious reasons, I would like to think. Let's see, what else can I do here? Well, I want to try and get those two ghosts... Well, not Ghostbusters, I think those are exorcists in the same room. Okay. These guys don't block roof tiles. So I want to be trying to use roof tiles just to scare them a little bit. Well, it's not roof tile, it's just basically chucking an object from room to room. And now that they're scared, I can do an object possession. Now these two are not scared by... they can't block specters, and they can't block objects being tipped up. And that dog down there is a bastard, because he's stuck in there now, and I can't bloody get him out. So yeah, this is the strategy part. It's about getting everybody close enough together at the very beginning. Then scaring the pants off them. So let's see, can we... Wait, can we actually do that? Is that safe? No, it's not. Okay, so we need to... What can we do about this exactly? Well, we have to scare the poor dog. Okay, now we... Okay, we tip this up here to scare her. We possess an object here. And we lock these two in with the Spectre. That should do it. So it's all about using your powers in a way that would get everybody out of the building. And it's honestly quite enjoyable trying to figure it out and wrapping your mind around the puzzles. Everything's very consistent. Everything works the same way every time. Just because there's physics doesn't mean that anything gets affected by it. If there's someone in a room, that can stop a power that's coming to or from them. They will always stop that power. So you gotta make sure they're out of the room if you plan to use a power in it. So I want to try and get this Ghostbuster or this Exorcist out of the room, because they are going to be mighty big trouble if those two stick together. Alright, they're in the same room now. Let's see, the dog. Okay, what can the Ghostbuster stop again? He can stop the flying roof tiles and the lamp. That's a bit weird. Never mind that. Alright, so these guys can stop... Oh, I guess it changes from level to level. That's a bit of an oddity. Alright. Okay, now I can just throw this from the other end. I'm really not 100% sure what I'm doing here, to tell you the truth. This is a bit of a new one for me. Alright, so let's see. A bit odd that what they're capable of stopping changes between levels. I didn't think that was actually a thing. Let's restart and give this another shot. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to pull it off from where I am at the moment. And if I can figure this out, I'll move on to a boss level. The boss levels are fun. Let's see, what do we got here? Okay, so if I send him in with those three, maybe... Alright, send the Exorcist in there, and the dog in there, so... Let's see. Okay, they are not immune to floor tile. Oh, well, I call it a floor tile because it looks like a bloody floor tile. Alright, so... Now I should be able to flip that toilet and scare them all out of there. Which leaves the Ghostbuster to be locked in a room with a possessed TV while a Spectre chases them down. And that's everybody out of the level. So yeah, the puzzles themselves are fairly enjoyable to figure out. Unfortunately, I think this game may not last that long inside your Vitas, because as I said before, I've only been playing this for about an hour at this point, and that's like as you can see, 18 of the levels done. So you'll probably get, what, 3 hours out of this, maybe 4. There is a time attack mode, and the boss levels are a little more tricky, so they might take a bit longer than your average puzzle, but it's still worth noting. So let's take a look at a boss level. Because boss levels are cool. So we have boss level. Boss level. We have our figure in the middle there. That's the Ghostbuster leader. The Ghostbuster, well, the boss character in general, they don't have sanity. They can't be scared out of the house until everybody else around them is gone. And the thing about the Ghostbuster is that, or any particular boss character, is that if anything happens anywhere, they will be literally attracted to the room that it happens in, or at least that's what the magician guy was. Oh, I get what this is. You have to... Oh yeah, I actually haven't played this boss level yet. You have to burn out the Ghostbuster traps in order to actually get something to happen. That's interesting. That's an interesting mechanic. Alright, so I've burned out those. Now the question is, what do I do from here? Well... Okay, well, I scared her out. Okay, so you have to, you do definitely have to burn some traps in order to get stuff to happen. I will possess her and send her through to here. Because when they get possessed, they scare the shit out of anybody in the rooms that they pass through. Although they should have taken more of a sanity hit from that. That's a bit odd. Flip this. Yeah, just watch these. Ghostbusters are immune to everything. The boss characters are immune to everything. And I don't think I'm going to get this one. So what I'm going to do is, you've seen an example of one boss level. Let me go back and show you the first set of boss levels, because they're a little bit, well, easier. I was never a good puzzler, and the fact that I figured out 2 of the boss levels by myself is kind of amazing to me, because they're actually quite mind-bending. Alright, let's check out level 13. The game is $8 and is available now on the PlayStation Store. I'm not 100% sure what that would convert to, but for that price, if you like puzzle games just of any particular sort, and you'd be willing to throw down $7 to $8 for a fairly decent lineup of puzzles over the course of 3 or so hours, then absolutely. This game is actually very enjoyable. Okay, so who's blocking what? I need to get out of this bloody interface. Hold on, pause. There we go. Alright, so where's... Okay, so the only special character we have here is that witch up there, and she can block the flying stuff, so... Alright, so I gotta remember what I actually did here. So yeah, see, that magician guy tends to teleport around a lot once he knows something's going on, and that is a little bit annoying. And the problem is I can't actually alert the magician. Well, I can do this. Damn it, there's nothing in there left to flip. Except I can do this. There, now everybody's been scared out of the house. We get to use the special power on him, where the ghost himself comes up from the floor and scares the absolute crap out of anyone trying to get rid of the ghost. And out he goes. And that was the boss level. So that was a quick look at Poltergeist, the pixelated horror. Enjoyable puzzle solving. There's a fair amount of them. I mean, for $8, by default, by the way, there's no PlayStation Plus discount or anything like that. For $8, that isn't bad. That really isn't that bad at all for a few hours of good puzzling. And you got all sorts of trophies here, and yeah, finish the time trial mode in less than 90 minutes, so you know, you will get a few hours out of this if you want to get all of the... If you want to get all of the stuff. And yeah, activate the secret glitched objects. No idea where those could be, but you know, that's not up to me to find out in this video, that's up to you. Poltergeist, a pixelated horror. I quite like it. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.